Neil, the mood must be pretty good after the other night. 2 wins in a row and 2 clean sheets as well.
Yeah, it's like anything else, and good results, everything improves, the confidence and anybody else, and the training steps up a gear. So we haven't had much chance to go on the field. Obviously this morning we will be working on one or two things, but it's just been a matter really of getting the lads, relaxed and getting all the knocks and the bruises eliminated. Really, they don't. Some people like Sol. We're just hoping we can get him through 3 games in a week. It's a lot to ask really, and Pelts, but they do it. They come through well at the minute.
Yeah, quite often players just say they want to play, don't they? But you've got to balance it up when you're somebody like Sol Bamba, and you've been around a bit to be kind, and you're knocking on a bit, and you've been through what he's been through. But he's obviously loving it, isn't he? Which is massive when you're trying to gear yourself up for this busy period.
Well, he's that kind of person. He loves just being a footballer. It would have been easy for him to walk away. Really, he had quite a few offers on the television situation. But he's always wanted to play him. When he asked me, "Can I come up, please, and just show you?" I just did it out of sympathy, really, at first. But all fairness to him, he's got himself really back to fitness, and he's loving every minute of it.
I suppose we've got to whisper it quietly, but the word consistency has been used a lot and is used a lot in football. But you've got a chance, haven't you, to go on a decent unbeaten run, and again the playoffs are not too far away, are they?
Well, I think both ends of the table's pretty similar distance away. I don't get too carried away. I don't get too down or too up. You've only got to look at our last away performance. We played quite well, but we got beat. So I hope we play rubbish tomorrow and win. If I'm honest, that's what I would like.
Yeah, and against a team that is struggling badly, worst run since 1934. I read this morning, seven defeats on the bounce. Is it good then to be going there in those circumstances for Cardiff?
I think every game you've got this some sort of like you've just said. I think Barnsley had gone 10 or something, and Peterborough got a point away from us. Oh, everyone's got something different. All I know how difficult it is down there. The crowd get behind them. It's a fabulous crowd. I had three fantastic years, some of the best years of my life. And in a way, I'm quite pleased to be going back because I've never been able to thank them as well after I left. So it'll be quite emotional, but I'm looking forward to it. They've been obviously no love lost when the whistle's gone, but they got some good players. Make no mistake about that. And I think it'll be a tough game, but I think the lads are in good spirits, like you say.
Yeah, it'd be good for you to go down there, won't it, when there's the crowd in and all of that, and enjoy the return. But obviously, as you quite rightly say, once 12:30 comes around, it's all focused on trying to get a win.
Yeah, I mean, Mick's very much like me. He wants to win every day. It'll be hurting him at the moment, the run they're on, but he's a good manager, and they're, like I say, it's a great club. They've got decent lads coming in as well. They've played 1 or 2 young lads in the last few weeks, and their academy's blooming. So it's going to, like I said, there's no easy game away, home or away, and we just got to go down there and try and get a positive result. But I'm sure that they'll be really trying the best to get out of the run that they're on.
It is incredible how quickly things change, isn't it? You went into the Peterborough match with hardly a defender in sight, and you don't concede a goal. You win again the other night. Do you have to impress on the players about not getting too carried away and not with good and with bad? Because obviously you know that you've been around such a long time. But do you have to remind the players of that sometimes when you're going through a tough patch?
Not at all, really. We've got such a level-headed group of players. They're really good lads. All I've said to them is, look, we're in a bit of chaos at the minute with the lads that were out injured, but let's make the most of it and enjoy it. Let's try and enjoy it. Let's try and enjoy going forward, attacking when we can, and hopefully get some good results. And I said I won't have a go at anybody that makes mistakes in a different area that they're used to. We'll just we'll just have a go, and I think that's what they've done. Really, they've enjoyed training, and then they've taken it onto the games, and I think you can see we've enjoyed it. I don't think we've enjoyed the Mr. Duncans like the other night. I'll remind him for a few months, but other than that, it's I think it's they've really tried hard to try and enjoy it, and I think they've made the fans. I know it's been a bit frustrating at times watching us, but that is us. I'm afraid we're not lethal in front of the goals, and so it's always going to be a sort of a nail biter.
I didn't want to mention that, but has he had some stick since?
Just a little, not an awful lot. And I think one or two lads impersonated him in training yesterday, but we won't go into details.
And just on the other night as well, is Sol Bamba claiming that second one, or has it been given to Matt Crooks?
I'm going to say no comment on that. All right. Sol insists that that he has got a touch to it, so I'm sure we'll be covering it in depth in the next couple of hours. I'm sure when we're all together in the video room.
Talking about Matt Crooks, I mean, he's something of an unsung hero, I think, isn't he? He got our man of the match the other night. He's been playing in all sorts of positions. Do you agree that he's a bit underrated? He's a really valuable member of the squad.
Well, he's not underrated in my eyes. He's a manager's dream. So, as far as I'm concerned, I've got a few of those players. I think I've said in the past, you like to know that you've got players that's going to get 8 out of 10 and sometimes 9 every week in, week out as a manager. And I've got quite a number of them. So he's one of those lads that, like I say, if I told him he was playing right wing tomorrow, he'd say, okay. That's the type of lad you need at the club, really.
And just finally for me, Andras Boro was injured the other night. Do you know what's the prognosis is with him?
No, I'm going to have a chat with him as soon as I've finished this press conference, if I'm honest. He didn't train yesterday, so I'll have a look at him and just see what the situation is.
All right, best of luck. Thank you.
Dawn, where are you?
Hi, Neil. Hello. What's the situation with your injured defenders as well? Is anyone likely to return?
No. I don't think they'll be back. I don't think anybody will be back for a couple of weeks yet.
Crikey. So you've got to kind of keep on going with the sort of systems that you've been playing over the last sort of 3 or 4 games, haven't you, really?
Yeah.
In terms of pressure on football managers, Mick McCarthy's under a lot of pressure right now. I mean, we've heard reports that maybe he's been given 2 games to save his job. What's it like when you're in a situation like that?
Well, everybody's been in it. I'm telling you, there were certain things in the papers regarding me, weren't there, 2 weeks ago? So you just have to put up with it. I'm afraid. We're in an era where people can write what they want and they can, on the keyboards and things like that, and everybody has an opinion. Sometimes they say it's an opinion of the majority when it isn't the majority, it's the minority, but it doesn't sell things, that. So I just keep my time and keep my own counsel. I'm sure Mick does the same. I mean, I've been down there, so there's such a, what I say, they get really behind the team, so there's a lot of passion there. And I think that's where it comes from. Mick will be hurting as much as anybody with the results they've had, because he wants to win every game, and he'll think tomorrow's a good opportunity when he'll have watched us play at Hull, and think that this is the type of team we need down here to get back on the winning ways. So it goes both ways. We have to be ready and try and give them problems at the same time defend as we have been.
We talk about the things people write, the abuse basically that you get, particularly on social media, not you, but generally football managers, and we've seen that with Steve Bruce, particularly this last week. With you, is it that you just don't look at it? You don't listen to what that sort of social media bubble wants to say to you? Do you just cut yourself off from that?
I don't think you can really. I mean, you say you do things like that, but you don't. It hurts. It really hurts you when you read things in the newspapers and listen to things on the radio. And I don't look at so many social media boards as I used to do. But like when I was at Cardiff, I had 3 great years. We really did things that we shouldn't have done. Getting promotion with that squad was, like I say, as good as I've ever done in my career. And I always said then, if the time comes where the fans don't want me, I don't need it, do I? So I always think you've got to be careful what you wish for. The people that wanted me out, or that even if it's a minority, it would be interesting to see who they would recommend for the job to come in at this moment in time and take over. It's easy to say, I'm gonna be looking at Newcastle, like I did with Arsene Wenger. I remember saying, I was working on Talk Sport then, saying, Arsene Wenger, you be careful what you wish for, you Arsenal fans. And you can't tell me, in fact, I think they're worse than what they were then. And, you can't tell me everything looks rosy. Yes, it's obvious Steve Bruce and, I couldn't have managed a club with that so much abuse that Steve's taking, because I don't need it, mate. And I'm sure it's hurt Steve. But you can't tell me the people that they're looking at to replace him is going to do well. I don't believe it, mate. I'm going to be looking from the outside in. And thinking about Arsene Wenger.
And I guess for you and Steve, to an extent, you've been around a long time. You've, to some extent, developed a bit of a thick skin. But perhaps for the younger managers coming through, it might be even tougher to ignore that side of things.
Well, I think they're probably used to it a little bit more, because it's not as if it was something that only started during my career. Whereas it's been there now for years, hasn't it? I mean, the abuse online, I still can't understand why these media companies, your Twitters and Facebooks or what have you, I still can't understand in the modern era why we can't, prosecute everybody that says something bad on it, me. But I'm afraid I don't know enough about it in that respect. I think managers are an easy target when I think a lot of the clubs that we were talking about, you've got to look further than that, behind the scenes, and how much help did the manager get, and what's the situation. There's other things, but it's easy just to change the manager. So I don't think that's going to change. It's a horrible industry where people can just type things in and be absolutely venomous. I think it's one of the worst industries in the world, really, and then people look at these venomous quotes and use the odd one or two as if it's fact. I can't get my grip of that. And I'll be quite pleased when I'm down in Cornwall, where it's a different way of life down there. There's not so much nastiness down there as there is the rest of the country. But it's life, I'm afraid, at the moment, and not just football managers, but it seems in general anybody in the high-profile industry can just be spoke about as if they're a piece of dirt. It's how it is in society, I'm afraid. And whilst as parents we always wanted our children to have more than we did, I think it's coming back to hurt us that now. I think they've got too much, and I look at kids at 4-year-old on telephones now, and I just shake my head. I just can't believe what the world's coming to me in that respect.
You and me both. Just one final question. It's about being clinical both mentally and physically this weekend, isn't it? And shutting out any noise in the stadium and all the rest of that.
Yeah, it'll be difficult. We are travelling. I think we've got 650 people. They must be leaving about midnight, I would think, some of these guys and girls. And, it's a hell of a journey for a 12:30 kickoff. Football League have been very good to our fans in that respect. Always caring. Nothing surprises me about the EFL regarding fixtures. But our fans will be there in good voice. It's a great atmosphere to have the crowd, the numbers that we're going to take down in that far corner for a manager. And, it's a really good... I used to call it Muck and Nettles Cardiff, because it was like my Sheffield United days. The people that come to watch Cardiff, they're like they grew up a bit like me, a bit like I did. It's fish and chips and say it as it is. I liked it down there. It was my kind of place, and it'll be good atmosphere tomorrow.
Thanks very much, Neil. Good luck.
Simon.
Hi, Neil. I've just got a couple. You spoke about Mick. Mick, even though he's on a bad run, he will be looking at the situation and thinking this could be the game to turn it round. He's almost like a cornered lion in that respect, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think in his thoughts he would have thought Fulham was the game they were going to turn around. Fulham will beat anybody, so they were hoping, and they played quite well at Fulham, if I'm honest. They gave 2 bad goals away, and that cost them. But they'll be looking at this one, I think. You've only got to look at the bookies. The bookies make Cardiff favourites. So if they've lost 7 games and they're favourites, it shows you what they think about our away record, doesn't it?
The only other one I wanted to ask was when you've bounced back with these 2 good and important wins over the past week, and after the one on Wednesday night, when you settled down and looked at the league table, were you sort of quite relieved that you look and think, oh, good, everything's still in play, we haven't been left behind?
No, not really. I was just reflecting on the disappointment of the games that we should have got maximum points in the last 6 weeks, and we didn't, where that would have put us. So that's the only disappointment I've got. I think the lads have done brilliant for me in the circumstances, and I think the fans have got really behind us. Even the other night, I thought they willed us on at the end, even though we all had our heads in hands. I've never seen 15,000 people have their head in their hands before. But they kept us going, and it was great to come away with the points. And tomorrow they're saying the fans will be great down there. You get your hardcore 650. They make so much noise, and it's good for the lads, and it's a good atmosphere. The Bluebirds are good as well, the fans. So it'll be a cracking atmosphere.
That's good for me. Have a good trip. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ian Hunt.
Ian, where is it? Oh yeah, I've got you. Ian.
Hiya Neil, how are you?
I've got Dom Shaw there. I thought it was Ian then. I've got a different name under your picture, Ian.
Oh really? What does it say?
No, I won't tell you.
Okay. Nice to see you, Neil. I've just been on the Mick McCarthy presser, and he says that you should get a hero's welcome tomorrow. He says from the Cardiff fans, and he says he'll probably get a much warmer welcome than I'm going to get. It's going to be strange, isn't it?
It is, but Mick, he's been there, seen it all, done it all. He would expect me to get a good reception because I've never been able to say goodbye to the Bluebirds, and it's one of those. It's difficult circumstances at a minute for him, but he's a good guy as well as a good manager, and I think he'll should be concentrating on let's spoil his day type of thing, because that's how we are. It's management is you just worry about your own team really.
Yeah, he said that it's our job to pull the plug on all that excitement. But
Yeah.
I suppose, that image of you being on the pitch down at Cardiff, whirling your arms around at the end, that's quite people remember that. They remember it fondly. What's your favourite sort of moment, perhaps, when you've been on that pitch down there in front of those fans?
The whistle going against Reading at home. And my wife Sharon, when we were walking round the fans, I'll never forget Sharon walking round with me and they're asking her for her autograph. I thought I'd never heard of that one before, but no, I lived at a lovely place, Ogmore by Sea. It was a special place, and we had a fabulous time there. And Ian, it was a miracle to get promotion with that squad, and that's what's pleased me more than ever. A bit like this year. You had your Fulham chasing us, and they were the team that were going to beat us, and it was good to prove a few people wrong that year with a group of lads very similar to the ones I've got here, very genuine, and that I'll never forget my time there. It was and my chairman, Mehmet Dalman was unbelievable. I wouldn't have got any of the success without him. I couldn't have managed down there without Mehmet. He was an amazing man. Still a friend.
And you've talked already about the pressure on Mick at the moment. It's not been pleasant for him down there. With obviously even the Cardiff fans sort of saying you're going to get sacked in the morning the other week against West Brom. If things don't go well tomorrow, they'll turn against him again. So what will you say to him, Neil? What sort of thing could you say to him tomorrow?
Well, we all know what we're in, the industry that we're in, so we all know what's coming around the corner, and everybody usually during the season has a bad spell, and the fans, even clubs high up in the league. I remember at QPR when I was getting promotion, which was another miracle, really. I remember losing it to Scunthorpe United, and my owners then, Bernie Eccleston and Flavio. Flavio ringing me, you don't know what you're doing. You're going to get us we're never going to win another game, and ranting and raving. And then Bernie come on and don't listen to him, and whatever you do, keep going. If it's from above or the fans chanting you out, every area, every angle they come at. But it's something that I've got to enjoy it now. I'm on my last lap, and I'm enjoying it until I'm told otherwise. I'm going to do the best I can for Middlesbrough. They've been amazing to me, Steve Gibson, and the fans have been, wherever I go, have been brilliant. Always going to get a minority. I had that at Sheffield United. I had about 300 that wanted me out the first week I were there, I think. So you're always going to get that. I'm afraid it is the modern way it is. But a good result tomorrow for Mick will change everything. The outlook won't be as bad, and he'll know that. And you look at our away results, and you think we've got a really good chance. So I'm sure he'll be into his lads. Let's stop the party, because I know I'll get a good reception, because that's what the Bluebirds were like with me. I had a great time there. But when the game goes, I'm sure that they'll be hostile towards my team, just like I'd expect.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it, Neil. Have a great day.
Thank you. Scotty.
Hi, Neil.
Hi, Scott.
Do you think Sol will feel he's got a bit of a point to prove, Neil, or do you think he's kind of drawn a line under all that from leaving Cardiff?
I think he's just relieved his playing. At his age, really. I don't think he's, I think the circumstances were a bit disappointing. Obviously he reads things, but he was disappointed, I must admit. But that's life, isn't it? I never thought he'd come back as fit as this, and what have you. And his contract was up, so they probably could have done it in a better way. But other than that, they had to move on. They've got young lads in the team, and they've got quite a few centre halves. I wish we had a few at the minute like they've got, but it's we just have to move on then.
And we've seen Sol's effect on the pitch in the last 3 or 4 games, but just talk a bit about off the pitch as well. I mean, I know you'd said at the start of the season, obviously you had that little involvement with the under-23s and was a really positive impact there. But what about his impact in the senior dressing room now?
It doesn't change whether he's under-23s, first team, whatever it is. Sol is Sol. Same Pelts. They both say it as it is. They don't suffer fools gladly. All right, they're not captains, but we don't need. Johnny Howson has his own way of dealing with it. They helped Johnny, I'm sure, because I think half time last week, one or two things were said, and it's good. It's good to have people like that. We've always been a little bit too quiet, so I've been pleased with their input both on and off the field. And I mean, anybody that meets Sol, you can't do enough for anybody. He's always going to charity things and going round the areas, and Peltier is very similar. They're two great lads, and I've been very lucky to have these lads for a number of years in my dressing room. And yes, I take the mickey out of both of them at times for different reasons, and I'm sure they take the mickey out of me when I'm behind my back. But it's great to have what I call proper men in my dressing room. And I always talk about, who do you want in the trenches with you? Well, I'd like Peltz at one side and Bamber at the other with me.
Yeah. And just on the injured lads, I mean, is it a worry that obviously, it's been a while they're out, it's going to be another while they're out, and take them a little bit of to get back up to speed once they're back? I mean, is it
Well, we just got to keep his fingers crossed. I know I dread to think what would happen if people like Sol was injured, or Paddy or Johnny. We haven't got an awful lot left at the moment to change things other than what we're already doing. So we've still got to be a bit lucky, because I can't see anybody being back for a few weeks yet in the lads that we've missed.
Okay, well, good luck. Enjoy tomorrow.
Thanks, Scott. Craig. I've got you, Craig. Yeah.
Just one on Sparrow, Neil. I know you said he didn't train yesterday. You haven't seen him, but he got his second goal for the club. His first at home the other night. I know you've said before how confident the player he is, anyway. But just how big an impact has he had on the place since he's arrived?
He's probably as good as I've had for a lone striker. He's arrogant in the right way, but he's humble at the same time, and he's very much part of the team. He's very much part of that spirit that we're trying to find. He understands the humour, and so he fitted in really well. He's had to change slightly because he's had to work harder than he's ever worked before, and he's probably got away with it in the past, whereas he can't get away with it with me. So he's had to change slightly in that respect, but he's trying his best now to do what I want him to do off the ball as well as on the ball. Because he hasn't got a problem on the ball. It's off the ball, the work that he has to do, like Duncan's doing.
Yeah, and you've already touched on it slightly there, but in terms of he's coming in from a different country to a new group, a new team, a new group of players, and he has only been here a short while, still. So he has settled well into the group and everything, then, has he?
Yeah, very much so. He seems to almost like he's been here years, Craig. He's not. He's the same, like I say, same in training, and when you see him around the place in the restaurant and all that lot. Always in with a group of them. Crooks has done well as well. Crooks has done really well with Martin, and El's helped with his Spanish, and so everybody's mucking in to try and get everybody integrated, which is what you need really.
Yeah, and just touching, you've mentioned a couple of times, the away record and things like that. And I know, a lot of times when you speak about this season, you speak about, just going for it and enjoying it. And I think we can say that in terms of, you are a little bit more expansive and you do try and go for things. Away from home, do you think maybe, you need to sort of find a way to tighten that up a little though? Or is your message still the same, home or away, just go for it?
I think it is now. Yeah, I think that, at this stage of my career and the season, how it is, I don't think we've got anything to lose, really. I think, away from home or at home, we can be the same. I think we'll always concede opportunities for our opponents, and the first goal is always important. But I think we've got to keep going forward and trying to score goals and enjoying the battle, really. I'm sure the lads who start the game tomorrow will enjoy the atmosphere. It'll be a fabulous atmosphere. Being on television as well, it's going to be a good advert, I think.
Yeah, and just lastly from me, Neil, we touched the other night on Marcus Tavernier. You mentioned, his energy and everything, brilliant for the team, but, one or two decision-making moments in the games and that. But in terms of, as an overall product, just how important is Marcus Tavernier to this Middlesbrough side? Yeah,
I mean, Marcus, when he's really on the top of his game, is as good as anybody in the league. The problem Marcus has is he gets frustrated with himself, not with his teammates. He gets frustrated because he knows he could do better. He knows he should finish this, or he knows he should. But the more it goes, he wants to do something to get to show the lads how good he is, etc. And sometimes the most difficult pass is the simple one. I think Shankly used to say something about football. It's a simple game, isn't it? It's people that make it difficult. And it is really. Nothing's changed.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Neil. Good luck tomorrow.
Rob, are you quick one, Rob?
Hi, Neil. You said about backs to the wall last week, and we've really turned it round, haven't we? Everyone's pulled together, players and fans, etc. It shows how things can be transformed so quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, you're a fan, Rob. Fans do change sort of every 90 minutes, don't they? We're either relegated or we're going for promotion in the space of 90 minutes. It isn't as simple as that. But, I think with the tools at our disposal, we haven't done bad. You can say on the school report, could do better. Because we all know we should have had another 8 or 9 points easily this season. So that's the frustrating thing. But I can't fault the lads. And I think, talking to the fans I've met, Rob, they're delighted at the amount of effort and everything they've put in these difficult circumstances. I only get given my best and all that lot when I'm out and about, and so it's good. And by gum, we'll need them this week. 650 all that way, Rob. It's going to be very difficult for some families. But I saw a dad the other day when I was up at James Cook again, and he's saying him and his son were leaving at 1:30, I think he said. They live further up north, and I thought, bloody hell, 1:30. It reminded me of that day when I was at Hartlepool with Plymouth fans. Behind that, I told somebody about they were behind the gate asking for my autograph, and I went across and I said, bloody hell, you've done well, lads. What time did you set off? About 6 o'clock this morning. And the young lad said, 2 o'clock, and from Plymouth. And I think we're the same tomorrow. There's no thought whatsoever about our fans with the kick-off, is there, Rob? None whatsoever, which you don't expect it to. You can't. Fans are always at the bottom of the list, aren't they, when they're looked after?
Yeah, I'm setting off this afternoon actually.
Yeah, but you'll be in a 4-star hotel overnight having a meal and a glass of wine, won't you?
At least 4-star.
Exactly, I know. So that's a little bit different.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
The last couple of away games, Neil, against Hull, and I'm looking back at Forest. The difference for me was the finishing. Would you say that we had the same amount of chances really early on against Hull, and we've got to start taking those, I suppose, haven't we?
Yeah, it's difficult because you can't tell people like Spore. I mean, if you want a striker to have the opportunities that he had, you want him to have them, wouldn't you? But I just said to him, he's just got to concentrate on hitting the target. The power and everything will come. Whereas at Hull, he tried to bust the net. He doesn't have to bust the net if he gets it on target. The goals. So that's what I've been, sort of insisting on. Try and hit the target, make the keeper save rather than blasting it over the top. I mean, I can't remember how many we had over the top the other night, but we had 20 odd shots, didn't we? And it was a frustrating night regarding chances.
Do you think as long as we remember that hitting the target, that we'll surely start, all the players will start scoring goals, surely?
Well, it's something at every level, even at schoolboy level. That's what you got to teach the kids. Hit the target. Don't try anything else. And also, if when you're coming in, the coaching thing is to aim for the far post, because the goalie can always par it out and things like that. The thing that really does my head in at any level when I see people shooting it is the side netting on the near post. That's the one thing that's the biggest sin in football for me. So, we just got to try and get the basics and finish one or two of the chances off.